are certain therapists that are okay with the word sales. And those are the ones that will find themselves in out-of-network or cash practices.
You're right.
They want to get coached. They're okay with sales. They will say to me,
let's get to Dave's listening in, because this is so important.
All right, but wait. Before we do that, we have another
really quick commercial. Quick.
You didn't think that there needed to be AI in your ice packs, but Ice Pack AI has a personal therapy solution with embedded machine learning. Ice Pack AI analyzes swelling, pain, therapist mood, and lunar cycles and decides whether you deserve cold today. Sometimes it applies ice. Sometimes it sends a notification that says, have you tried just not being injured? Visit freezewithconfidence.ai. All right. So what app are you using, and tell us this story?
Okay. So long story short, we have taken the decision to start recording our physical therapist interactions and visits. Now, we have the office, but historically we've only been doing home visits. When my therapists do a home visit, I literally have no idea what goes on. So they'll say like, yeah, here. And I'll be like, how did it go? And they'll be like this, and that. And then like some patients stay around for weeks or months or years, and some patients drop off after 1 or 2 or 3 visits. And it's like, there's got to be something, right? So real quick, if you're listening to this, I'm in New York. There's only like 10 or 11 states where it's a 2-party consent, where you actually have to, by law, tell the person that, hey, I'm recording this. If you're okay with that, whatever. New York has a 1-way consent, believe it or not, which is great. So great for us. We are still going to put it in the new client paperwork. We've already done so. It's like 2 sentences. We can actually use some of this. It gives us insights so that therapists can actually, if they wanted to, copy and paste it. It's not exactly like a scribe, but you can kind of use it for documentation purposes as well to be a little bit more efficient. I framed it that way, but then also for increasing the sales presentation, the pitch, the first visit, presenting the plan of care, hitting the milestones of a script that I've provided for them, pre and post, greeting. Hey, what are your expectations today? Hey, here's the agenda today. Here's what we're going to do. Do you have any questions? Let's do this. Let's do this. We're going to then do this. We're going to do a pre and post test. We're going to do a little bit of treatment or whatever, modalities or intervention or whatever. Then I'm going to talk about I'm going to show you this graphic that we have. It's called Mount Dumore, 1, 2, 3 steps going back up the mountain, kind of as a metaphor and a visualization tool. Three legs of the stool. Here's why we're different. It's a whole Alex Hormozy, 3 legs of the stool pitch metaphor, explaining like, here's the plan of care, laying out the plan of care. So it's a lot. It's a lot for my therapist to do. I can now listen in. I can go back the AI, and I'm not going to say which one because we're using one and we're probably going to switch over to another one. And one of these companies eventually are going to sponsor the show. So I don't want to give them any pre-juju before the juju is signed.
This isn't an AI scribe, right? What is, so it's like, what would you call this?
Well, so we'll take a step back. I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. The Eagles play, they're knocked out of the playoffs right now, but they play a game on Sunday. Then the Philadelphia Eagles do game tape review. They review game tape on Monday and Tuesday. They're like, hey, what went well? What went poorly or bad? Where can we optimize? Where can we improve? And that's exactly what this does. And it grades the insights are insane. It grades the therapist on each step of the sales script, that whether they get a 1 out of 5, they get a 4 out of 5. It grades each step. It gives insights. It tells how much they talked, their talk ratio versus the patient's talk ratio. I can ask it questions like, hey, when they were speaking to Mr. Smith, did the therapist hit on any emotional triggers? Did Mr. Smith get flustered or shocked with the pricing and the cost? Did they explain? Did they give any objections? Did the therapist mention the word package or whatever the words are? It can suggest, it can grade the therapist on what words to avoid, and I can put a bunch of words to avoid in the system, like discharge or whatever words you want to avoid. If I don't want them to say price, I could have them say like investment or, do you have funds or funding or like different words that I would want the therapist to use and not use. It's insane, the amount of insights. And I was mentioning this because last night I'm home in Brooklyn. My therapist is in the office at 5:15 doing an eval, and I'm listening to the eval in real time, and it's documenting it. It's giving, I can have the whole transcript if I wanted to. It's there. I have the audio. I can go listen to the audio. I can click through and listen to different audio clips. I can ask the AI any of the questions like, hey, how is this going? What's the likelihood that this is going to convert and they're going to continue to stay with us? What's the sentiment like? Does the patient seem nervous or comfortable, or are they asking a lot of questions, or are they being quiet and cold? Like all that. It's insane.
You can also probably go in and say, this is what great looks like. Give me a score how this person did, like really quickly from 0 to 100. I've worked with an app like this. It was like a sales app that did that with like phone calls. And then also great for me was, what was my next step with that? What am I supposed to do? Because Jimmy, by the time I hang up, I have no idea who I just talked to. Here's a great suggestion from Ben, though. We know how learning takes place. Could it shock your physical therapy, like a collar or like a whoop ring? I'm not thinking like on the day, like it's like, we'll do it right. Hey, this is how much it costs. It costs. Don't cost. This is the investment. Drew Cruz is saying, I don't know what this is called, but shut up and take my money, right? And so you're listening in real time, though? That's nuts.
In real time, I was listening to it. I prompted, I was sending I sent one message. I don't want to be overbearing because my new therapist is only like a week and a half, 2 weeks in. I sent him a message. In real time. Now, I don't know if you saw, but there was a push notification that hit his phone that if he briefly took his phone out or flipped his phone over, he would be able to click into it. And in the question, I could message him and say, I don't know, like we're not going to, but like, let's say I wanted to give like a manual price reduction or whatever, something on the fly, like, offer this or do this or whatever. But I'm listening in real time. Yes, Ben Galen. Yes, I will message you or send me a message so I don't forget, but I'll let you know what companies we're using.
How many days until you can just have all your therapists wearing the Ray-Ban Meta glasses and you could be watching the eval in real time while it's transcribed? Like, I mean, honestly, like we're barely nodding.
That technology is also insane right now. The Meta glasses.
It's not even a stretch, right? We're like, oh yeah, probably by the weekend, if we were being honest here. That's already been in development for 12 months. Rachel's saying this is a good one. Let's get some good statistics, not just for one interaction, but can you look at a therapist over a month, a quarter, a year? Rachel's asking like one of those stats that flies around a lot. Does it track how often or how quickly the PT interrupts the patient? That you need to be reminded about, right? And because we're big dumb animals, we're humans. These are good KPIs to measure. You can also
I'll check. I mean, it absolutely will give a talk ratio between the therapist and the client. Yes. Ben's asking, am I making a case for an AI robot PT? Not against it. No, I'm against it. We're someone who's going to spend $350 per visit or $3,000 or $4,000 for package or whatever. Like, it's still with a human. I mean, if it changes, then yes, I'll go AI robots and I will come on here and I will exclaim that. But no, as of right now, it's to help our therapists cover all of the things that I want them to cover in the first visit. So I'm still hiring and paying human physical therapists.
Getting a message from the studio. Our new the live stream has just been bought by this app. We've just been purchased. So apparently we are now owned. They bought us during the conversation. In the last 6 minutes, we've actually been bought by Peekaboo AI, which is actually the app that Dave's used, the competitor of the app that Dave's used. Peekaboo AI, looking right into your client interactions and your patient interactions. These things that you're talking about, they're like, oh yeah, like we're so used to giant leaps. It feels like I don't even know it feels like it's a hockey stick, right? It's not a linear improvement. It's almost straight up. So when I like throw out some ridiculous thing that we could do, they're just like, yeah, just give it to 6 developers and in a week that'll be in the basic plan. It's not even the advanced plan. This is wild. I'm excited to go ahead.
So right after this, I have a go live with one of these companies. I have been using it for like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I've been using it, but like I negotiated like a free trial going into a paid 3-month pilot. They gave me like the first month kind of for free. But then, I mean, it gets really expensive. So I wanted to ask Tony, Tony, how many dollars, how much per month per, they call it license or user, but you can say therapist. So you know the cost of web PT or, and prompts is a little bit more expensive now, but in general, what cost do you think this is? And I'll give you a range afterwards. but what is the cost per physical therapist, do you think, for this type of value, insight? Maybe it's more valuable to me, maybe it's less valuable to you, but I'm curious, like, to get your thoughts on like the pricing, like the investment for this.
All right. So every time my wife asks me to make a guess like that, she wants me to go low so she can be like, no, it's way more.
No, I don't care. I'm just curious what you think it is.
Knowing what just a standard scribe is going to charge, I would have to think it's probably like $1,200 a month per clinician is what I would be thinking.
No. This is going to go.
If this is something that on a sales side, it doesn't matter that Dave is using it or other therapists would be using it to sell a low value product or service. The fact is, this would be something that could get a realtor to sell a $3 million house. This would be something that could get, somebody to buy a $20 million yacht. Like it should be in that $1,200 a month range is what I would guess.
So I've done 3 demos. I have another demo with another company tomorrow, even though, so I'm not the nicest consumer, right? Because I'm going live today with one of them, but then tomorrow I'm still shopping around because I want to see what else is out there because there's something else I didn't mention in terms of another like feature benefit. It's kind of around $250 to $300 per month per therapist.
Okay.
Which is actually, it's way lower than what Tony was saying because you were saying, would you say $1,200 or $1,500 per therapist?
I didn't say it, but my guess would have been $20 to $30 a month. And the reason I said that is, here's the thing. I mean, and here's the reason. And I didn't look it up first. I don't know what app Dave is using. I'm looking at a similar app, and this is why. I quickly looked. I was like, my guess was $20 to $30 a month, and then I looked up what this one is doing. Let me take off I don't care. I've got their name on the screen. I've used a similar tool, which is doing something similar. Maybe I'd pay a little more because it was HIPAA compliant or something, but I don't know that I'd pay $1,200. No way. Because how many plans of care would you need to do? This is going to be a race to the bottom quickly, right? Like, this is useful. This is going to get cheap, in my opinion, super fast.
And that's the thing, because it is newer on the market. And I've heard Hormozi talk about this. I've heard him reference it when he's talking about training his sales team. But it still doesn't have the market penetration. It's going to be super expensive, or at least I would assume it to be. And then as more competitors come out, as it becomes commoditized, the price and the value goes down. Guess what? Just like physical therapy. Like physical therapy today to treat a shoulder problem is not as valuable as it was 50 years ago because it has become commoditized.
Right. I did a video on Jevons paradox, which is something I had no idea what the hell it was, but Jared Hall did a post on it, and it explains that. It's when something becomes more efficient, we don't use less of it, we actually use more of it. And then the paradox came about when coal became more efficient. England in the 1800s was like, oh, cool, this is more efficient. So we didn't have to use less of it to get more result. It was like, let's use more. Now let's put it everywhere. And then the pairing is good.
My big question for Dave is, how did your therapist respond to it?
Oh, that's a good question.
And then at scale, what do you think the majority of physical therapists in the market today working right now, what do you think they would think of it?
I have opinions. Go ahead.
I pitched each therapist. I got there before I even started it. I got there by at the end of it, I did kind of say like, it's going to be mandatory, but I did say, hey, this can help with documentation. This can help with better conversions. This can help you get more results for patients. In my opinion, this will help. This can ease your ability to present the plan of care in the first visit and get more buy-in. My therapists are 1099 independent contractors. They're eat what you kill, but then also now some with base salary and upside. So either way, if you do this, like if you just cover the steps that we're talking about, we're going to practice it. Like, it's okay. I know it's different. I know this is something that like you're not used to from DPT school or your other jobs or whatever, but you also will earn more. And like, I hit on all the things that like they said that is important to them. So they want to have whatever, less paperwork, treat less patients, make more money. This literally is the conduit to do so.
I think.
So what was the response though? Like, were they like, yeah, 100%?
Every single therapist said, Cool. All right. I'm in. That's fine. And even my new guy, Andrew, so he was like, the first time he recorded, he said like, oh, like the first, I don't know, like as soon as he hit record and he starts his eval, he said like, I was like he was thinking like a little maybe nervous or whatever. But then like, as you're evaluating the patient, like you forget about it. You're just going to do your normal thing.
Yeah. I was going to say that like clinicians in general want confidence and competence. They want to know like, am I good? Am I above good? Good. And then I want to be confident in that. So I think the people who would be afraid of this are people who are like, I know I'm terrible and I don't want anybody to see this.
Exactly. And would I want to keep them on my team? No. Right. So it could help as an earlier off ramp instead of having a therapist stay on an extra 4 to 6 months. And then there's like way more issues. This could help us exit therapists faster that are not the right fit.
Yeah. John Frazier chiming in. John, good to see you. John was a military PT, or maybe he still is. I thought he said he retired. He says he's addressing technology to include AI in the upcoming ankle CPG revision. I know very little about CPGs, but on purpose, they don't redo them often, right? It's like a huge deep dive. The fact that they're already like, I'm imagining reviewing the ankle CPG was on the docket. They're already like, oh, we needed this in there. That's fast for research to respond sort of this fast. I mean, I know it's not that fast, but it's fast for research. So good on you, John, because I know how slow the wheels of academia move for good reason sometimes, but this is good reason to move a little faster. Ben says someone like Dave who values value and values consistency and values the product will value this a lot. Value. Brought to you by Values. Someone who is packing a clinic with $27 a visit patients 5 times at a time. They will not. No, they will never slow down. They don't even hang.
Because yes, exactly. Because the clinic is so high volume, you don't have time to review all these calls. Even the insight, like the quick breakdown. Exactly.
Right. Drew saying I'd be down to record my patient interactions so he knows if he can be better at communicating. Or hey, you could pair Drew wanting to be better at communicating and John saying we're going to put it in the CPG. It's like, how am I communicating well? Am I listening? Am I responding? Am I doing something clinically well? Could I have done? I don't know if I've met a therapist who's like, could I have done something better? Like who doesn't say that? Like most of them are like, what could I have done better there? Now you can see it.
And what the one thing I didn't mention about this entire thing is that this has already been used for years in home services, construction, HVAC, pools, roofers, literally everything. So the salesperson the sales rep in person goes to someone's home, goes to Tony Maritato's home, and they do a free estimate. They go through the assessment, whatever. What are you looking for? What type of scope of project, whatever it is,
right.
Lay out, hey, what's your budget, whatever. They're going through a script. This is already used by so many industries, and there is also used in dental. So one of the companies that I have demoed with, they have a bunch of dental practices because the dentists, not the traditional cleanings where it's like, again, high volume, but the dental practices that are selling, $15,000 to $50,000 dentures or full, sets of teeth. Those are also big dollar amount packages, whether it's paid up front or packages or financing or whatever. But there's already a lot of dental practices using this. Yeah. And I've talked to all these companies so far. Believe it or not, I'm the first physical therapist to reach out.
So, okay. So you don't have to say which one it is, but what is this like called? What would you call that?
AI. It's an AI sales solution.
Yeah, CPTs wouldn't be searching for that. So suggestion for them, call it something different if you want to. You would need to call it a clinical content. Like, I don't know. Like, I won't name it for you. AI would be better to do that. But like, don't call it that. Don't call it sales. Don't do that. If you want PTs to ignore something, write the word sales on top. They will never read past. And I love you. And I love the fact why you do that. So call it something different, which is like confidence and competence. The clinical confidence and competence app, Insights, CPG, live CPG creator, something like just word salad the crap out of it, but say 7 words that I like, not sales. Don't say sales if you want PTs to read it. This is why.
Well, there are certain therapists that are okay with the word sales, and those are the ones that will find themselves in out of network or cash practices.
You're right.
They want to get coached. They're okay with sales. They will say to me, I'll start the conversation with them in the beginning if they're looking to, they're reaching out and they're looking to, join us. And I'll say, sale. I know some therapists, sales is a dirty word, bad word, whatever, and How do you feel about it? How do you describe, we're going to be doing sales role play today. I'm meeting up with my new therapist today from, 12:30 to 4 or whatever. A lot of what we're going to cover today are his other evals from this week that we recorded. And we're going to go through it. We're going to use the sales tool, but we're also going to go through objections and rebuttals. Like, hey, this sounds too expensive. I need to think about it. I wanted to use my Medicare, my insurance, whatever. And we're going to literally do sales role play. But that therapist has already opted into this. And I agree with you, Jimmy. It's not for every therapist.
Hey, it's Dave Kittle. Are you a healthcare business owner or physical therapy practice owner who is looking to figure out your succession plan or exit strategy? We might be able to help. And in fact, we may be interested in acquiring your practice. If you're interested, you can reach out to me. Shoot me an email at dave@conciergepainrelief.com. That's DAVE at CONCIERGE painrelief.com. Or you can call me at any time, 646-781-8884.